Hello everyone, I am Taureor, and today I'm going to tell you which Hearts of Iron 4 DLC you should buy, if any. Let's quickly load into a game as Germany so we can talk while showing. And this video is sponsored by Paradox themselves. While they didn't ask me to make it, I have entered a partnership with Paradox. It's an affiliate partnership, so I get special links, and if you use those links to buy anything from Paradox, I get a cut. But don't worry, I'm not going to just tell you to buy everything. I will try to provide the best and most factual guide I can. And it's going to be brief and full of useful information, I hope. I'm going to try to follow a model in which I assume you want to buy a DLC or two and then advise you which one to get. If you don't want to spend money or get a DLC, don't. I want to encourage you to buy a DLC if you don't feel you need one, because the base game is great and you can enjoy it quite a lot without any add-ons whatsoever. That being said, if you don't have the base game already, buy it. It's very good. And it's 60% off right now on the Paradox store. And if you decide to buy anything based on that video, please use the links in the description below, because I'll get a cut. And like everyone else, I like money. So first let's talk about DLCs and what they offer, and then I will give my recommendations. The first DLC ever released is Together for Victory. It focuses on the British Commonwealth. So all the countries that are the British subjects get their own focus trees, which are quite extensive and interesting. However, they are not my favorite. So you get dedicated focus trees for countries like Canada, Australia, and so on, which can be quite a lot of fun if you are particularly interested in those countries. And the other important part this DLC offers is subject management. You have seen me use it quite a lot in the game. Let me just quickly use console commands to annex someone so we can show you. Let's annex France. Right, we've annexed France. Now I can show you the... Now, we've annexed France. Now, if I release, for example, France as a puppet, we have a puppet France, and what we can do is manage them. This feature is very useful for using puppet manpower. I've made videos about that already. Essentially, you only get full manpower from core provinces, but if you have a puppet, then you can use their manpower from their core provinces fully, and once you have exhausted that, you can annex them, which is quite useful, and as I said, I've made videos about that. So this is a feature offered in Together for Victory. There's some minor stuff as well, but I don't really care about the other things, so let's just focus on that. You get puppet management, and you get focus trees for the British subjects. Now, I'm not really a fan of those focus trees because they mostly restrict you. On the example of Australia, if you have seen my playthrough, for example, you can't change your laws unless you do a specific focus. For example, getting a better manpower law requires you to do a specific focus. I am not a fan of this school of game design, which restricts the player. If you have the add-on, the specific focus tree is more detailed, more interesting, but also restricts you and makes you much weaker than you would be with the generic focus tree. I'm not really a fan of that, but for flavor it's fun. So that's a mixed bag on that. I don't really like the focus trees, but I really like the puppet management mechanic introduced by the DLC. Now, let's move on to the second DLC released. It is Death or Dishonor, and that focuses on the Balkans. It adds new focus trees for Romania, for Yugoslavia, for Hungary, and for Czechoslovakia. Other than that, it introduces some minor tweaks, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't find them to be particularly important. However, the new focus trees are much better than the ones introduced in Together for Victory. The focus tree for Romania lets you dominate the Balkans or create your own alliance, and offers a lot of options for changing your ideology. It is very extensive, has a lot of flavor, but it also is useful and powerful, which I can't really say about the focus trees from the previous DLC. The Yugoslavian tree doesn't offer that much power, but it does offer a lot of flavor and lets you take your country in a variety of directions. You can get your own communist alliance, for example. As for Hungary, well, there is a lot of options here also, but the only one you should be choosing is the restoration of Austro-Hungary, which, yeah, lets you do exactly that and invite the Habsburgs back. As for Czechoslovakia, the tree doesn't offer that much variety, but it lets you become a friend of the Germans, for example, or fortify your country very Well, all in all, I think the Hungarian and the Romanian focus trees are the most interesting. However, this DLC basically only offers those extra focus trees. They are very good focus trees, I enjoy them quite a lot, but you have to ask yourself, is that worth the price of the DLC? If you are from one of those countries, then probably yes. If you enjoy playing in the Balkans, then again, yes. But otherwise, not necessarily. So the focus trees are really good, but there is not much else in that DLC. And finally, we have the latest DLC, Waking the Tiger, which kinda offers more than the previous two DLCs, but it's mostly centered around China and Japan. So if you're not particularly interested in that area, I'm not sure you'll get your money's worth for the DLC, but let's explore what it gives us exactly. You get focus trees for China, focus tree for Communist China, you get a focus tree for China, and you get another one for all the smaller Chinese nations. But that's not all. You also get a dedicated focus tree for Manchukuo that lets you break free from Japan and re-establish Qing. And you also get a focus tree for Japan, which offers quite a lot of cool options, including factions within your country. And of course, you can turn democratic or communist if you so choose. You also get bicycle battalions, which are very, very powerful. So we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 focus trees so far, because the smaller nations share the same one, but that's not all. You also get an extra focus tree for Germany. This branch over here, this lets you oppose Hitler and rekindle the Kaiserreich, get Wilhelm back, or even Victoria. There is really a lot of interesting options here, and I've made several videos on that. You can even restore the Holy Roman Empire in a name as well, if you get Victoria on the throne. So I would say the DLC is worth it for this focus tree alone, probably. That is not all, though. You also get some nice decisions added to your countries. Can't really do that as Germany, but for example, you can play as Belgium and form the European Union, and stuff like that. And finally, you get skills for your generals. So if we assign Rommel here, he gets a tree that offers various buffs. So I think Waking the Tiger offers the most for your money. You get 6 unique focus trees, general skill mechanic, and a lot of cool decisions for countries. So should you get any of the DLCs, and if so, which ones? Essentially, if you are relatively new to the game and haven't played more than, let's say, 100 hours of it, I would recommend that you don't get any DLC yet and save the money, because there's still a lot of enjoyment you can just derive from the base game. There's really a lot of content here, even without DLCs, and a lot of countries do have unique focus trees, and you can do quite a lot of stuff without paying extra. And if you don't have the game, just buy the base game. If you love the game and have a lot of money, then just buy all of them and see what you like best. But what if you are on a budget, can't really buy all the DLC, but would like to enhance your experience a little bit? Okay, let me give you some advice. So which is the best DLC for you to buy? If you're a national of one of the British Dominions, if you're Indian, if you're Canadian, if you're Australian, and so on, you might want to get Together for Victory as your first DLC, because this fleshes out your country. However, as I said, I am not a big fan of those focus trees. Also, if you would like to do all the shenanigans I do in my videos with puppets and puppet manpower and all that, you will need Together for Victory for puppet management, because you then don't get that screen without Together for Victory. So those are the two kinds of people I would recommend Together for Victory. 2, people from the countries that get extra focus trees, because that's always fun to have, and people who really want to do puppet manpower. Now, Death or Dishonor. This essentially only offers those 4 focus trees. There's some extra stuff, but it's not that important. So I would recommend that to people who are from the Balkans and like to do stuff here, or to people that really enjoy fighting in the Balkans. I find myself actually really enjoying getting involved in the region. There's a lot of possibilities here. That's a lot of fun. If you particularly enjoy this region, these countries, this area, this is the DLC that you should get, Death or Dishonor. This is pretty much the only case in which I can recommend this as the best DLC for you. And finally, Waking the Tiger. Now, the focus trees are not as fun as the ones in the Balkans. The mechanics are not as important as the puppet management mechanic. But with Waking the Tiger, you get a hell of a lot more for your money, because you get 6 focus trees, decisions for countries like forming the European Union, which is quite cool, and you also get general skills. So all in all, I think Waking the Tiger is the best DLC for everyone I haven't mentioned before. If you are not one of the types of players I've mentioned in the previous DLCs, so not from the British Dominion, and not really need to do puppet manpower, and not a fan of playing in the Balkans, then you should get Waking the Tiger. Because all in all, you get the most for your money. And that Germany focus tree is freaking amazing, because you can have Victoria as your Empress. So, yeah, if you don't have any particular preference, just get Waking the Tiger. If you want to do Puppet Manpower, then get Together for Victory. And if you particularly enjoy the Balkans, get Death or Dishonor. And if you want to spend money on getting 2 of them, then get Waking the Tiger and 1 other DLC. Together for Victory if you want Puppet Manpower, and Death or Dishonor if you want fleshed out Balkans. Now, there are links in the description below. The base game is 60% off, and I believe all the DLC are 50% off right now on the Paradox store. And if you buy anything through those links, I'll be getting a cut from Paradox. But above all else, I hope I provided a comprehensive buyer's guide to Paradox DLC, and who knows, maybe that extra bit of cash from Grandma is just what you need to enjoy the game a little more. And again, if you don't have the game yet, just buy the base game, don't buy any DLC yet. First play it for like 100 hours and exhaust the possibilities that you get with the base game, because there really is a lot of content there. Now, the Paradox Christmas sale or holiday sale features a lot of other titles. If you want to buy any other Paradox games, they are probably on sale as well. So check that out if you want. Alright, that's it for this video, and I'm off to finish up some Christmas preparations. So, Merry Christmas!